afternoon and welcome to the Special Olympics opening ceremony at Celtic Park in Glasgow. It's a beautiful day here, and around the stadium there's a riot of colour from the banners and the flags, including, as we see, the flag of the Commission of the European Communities, who contributed substantially to these games. More than 30,000 people have come to salute the athletes, their families and coaches who've gathered in the city from all over Europe, east and west. This is the third and largest European Special Olympics. In 1981 they were in Brussels, and 4 years later it was Dublin's turn. Now the Games are open to everyone with mental retardation, and this year more than 2,000 athletes are here from an unprecedented 31 countries. The Games are being hosted by Strathclyde Regional Council, who've underwritten a large proportion of the cost, and most of this money was raised from sponsors and general public. The Council wants Special Olympics to be the highlight of Glasgow's celebrations as European Capital of Culture, and they appreciate the generosity of many celebrities and artists from around the world who've lent their support. His Royal Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh, will officially open the Games, and there'll be fireworks. These mass bands will continue, singing, a demonstration by flag wavers from Italy, and of course, the arrival of the torch, lit on Mount Olympus and carried through Europe by officers from Strathclyde Police Force. Well, this afternoon's celebrations will kick off 6 days of competitions at venues around the city and beyond. Here, the Special Olympics oath will be followed by all the athletes. Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. Ron Pickering is here to add his sporting expertise on a tremendous atmosphere here this afternoon.
It really is, Kirsty. The skirl of the Pikes, blazing sunshine, 30,000 people, and we are simply awaiting for that flame to arrive.
But before that flame does arrive, there's a whole afternoon's entertainment ahead. First, the mass band playing Helen Laddie as the crowds look forward to some events on stage. And now we're joined by Paul Coyer to make his introductions from the stage.
The first Special Olympics took place 22 years ago, and we have seen in the movement, the history of that movement, a change in attitudes to mental handicaps throughout the world. Let's now reflect on 22 years of the Olympic movement, which we now call the Special Olympic movement, and let's look at that achievement.
In the summer of 1963, Eunice Kennedy Shriver opened a day camp at her home in Maryland for 100 local children with mental retardation. The response was so positive that the Kennedy Foundation decided to support the development of similar sports programs throughout the USA. Special Olympics was born. 5 years later, the first International Special Olympic Games were held at Soldiers Field, Chicago, with over 1,000 athletes from the USA and Canada taking part in track and field and swimming events. The 1987 Summer Games at South Bend, Indiana, was the largest worldwide amateur sports event of that year, and the largest ever games held for disabled persons. All official Special Olympic sports follow internationally accepted rules, and contestants are grouped according to age, sex, and past scores or times to ensure competition amongst equals. Special Olympics came to Britain 11 years ago, and the movement here now has over 6,000 members. The third National Games at Leicester were a great success, with 2 of the athletes winning a nomination for BBC Sports Personality of the Year. Over the years, millions of people across the world have become involved in Special Olympics. training all year round and competing in 22 different winter and summer sports. Today, there are 750,000 enrolled athletes and 500,000 volunteers at work in more than 90 countries, raising awareness of the emotional, physical and social needs of people with mental retardation. We are all in this together, now more than ever. Special Olympics is about breaking down the barriers between our understanding and acceptance of each other as living individuals.
Well, that's the story so far. Today we begin the next chapter, and the athletes from all over Europe have been training hard for this week's competition. Now, not only is there a team of athletes here from Italy, they've brought a troupe called the Sbandiatori. They're flag wavers for the town of Figline Valdarno near Florence. Their music and their costumes are from medieval times, when you see red was the colour of the common man and blue the colour of the nobility. The whole spectacle is a celebration of victory, and the movement strictly directed by their drums. In fact, since the group was formed in 1965, it's been all over the world, and indeed it was at the Edinburgh Tattoo in 1984.
They're absolutely splendid. In the 83 World Championships for Athletics in Rome, they were there.
Sbandiatori, so the festivities are off to a colourful start, and in the stadium the cauldron has been prepared for the arrival of the Olympic flame.
In an emotional and historic ceremony, a flame was taken directly from the sun's rays in Athens. Watched over by the Greek Presidential Guard, who'll accompany their team here, the nation's flags were raised in salute as the torch was lit and handed over to Strathclyde police officers. Watching, Mr. Sergeant Schreiber, chairman of Special Olympics International. The 52-day journey had begun. When it enters the stadium, the torch will have been carried through 11 different countries. That's over 6,000 kilometers. To Brussels, and a reception in the European capital as thousands gathered to welcome the torch and pass on their good wishes to the runners. There were lots more kilometers to cover, so it was a short but well-deserved rest. Next, the team entered France, their final port of call on the continental mainland. The police officers covered an average of 115 kilometers a day, a relentless pace over all kinds of countryside and in all kinds of weather. This freak storm caught out Officer William Lowe, but his fitness and dedication were typical of the whole team. Next stop was Paris, and a meeting beneath the Eiffel Tower with the French Special Olympic team. From here, the English Channel was only 2 short days away, so the team pushed on to the coast and the boat that was waiting to carry the torch across and onto British soil for the first time. Portsmouth to Glasgow would take another month, and they knew that many thousands would be waiting in the European culture capital to welcome them.
And now the torch is within the city boundary, with only a few miles yet to go. The officers still look surprisingly fresh. They've been running since May, and originally there were 98 volunteers from the force. Eventually 24 police officers were chosen. They managed to average 100 miles a day, including when they came over the Alps, with sub 6-minute miles. It's pretty good going, Ron, isn't it?
It's not bad going, and they've been joined by Tessa Sanderson, of course.
Well, we'll catch up with Tessa later. Back here in the stadium, there's great excitement. The crowds are awaiting the arrival now of the royal party. And His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, who's patron of these games, is arriving now in the royal box. Beside him is Mrs. Susan Baird, the Lady Provost of Glasgow, with her official chain on, and she's the official host today. With them, in the floral dress, is Mrs. Eunice Kennedy Shriver, who's the founder and honorary chairman of Special Olympics International.
Your Royal Highness, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes of the 3rd European Summer Special Olympics.
The fantastic thing about this is that they've been on their toes waiting for it all to start, and they really would have liked to have been in the stadium, but this is their great moment. The parade of the athletes. Greece leads, of course. The Evxenoi in traditional costumes. They guard the Greek presidential palace and the monument of the unknown soldier. Athens, of course, the venue of the first modern Olympiad in 1896, but the Olympic Games spans now 33 centuries. Austria next, a team of 47, led by Mayor Hermann Kroll, the mayor of that lovely mountain village of Schladming. Now, Austria took part in their first International Special Olympics 5 years ago, held their own games 2 years later. They've got teams here in swimming, track and field and gymnastics, and have very high hopes for their indoor football team. There's the French team. Now, this is a very important team because there are 400 Special Olympic clubs in France, staffed and assisted by 2,500 coaches and volunteers. Probably the best program in Europe. And that's important. They have the oldest program in Europe. They started back in 1970, strong in football, tennis and cycling. And one of their stars will be Dominique Perrine, one of their cyclists.
Dominique's been cycling 50 kilometres a day and up to 150 at the weekend in preparation for this event, which he says is the biggest of his life. He was abandoned as a child and has spent all his life in special institutes. When he started in Special Olympics 5 years ago, his teachers noticed a great change in him. He was no longer aggressive and easily depressed, and Dominic trained hard and warmed to his new life. Now Dominique Perrine is one of the top cyclists in Special Olympics.
Here's Gibraltar. Now, you may be surprised to see the very familiar face and even more familiar head of Duncan Goodhue leading that team. A whole number of international athletes have decided to march with various teams. Duncan's chosen to go with Gibraltar. So the biggest cheer of the day may well be, listen, for Ireland and Pat Bonner. They've seen him, they've spotted him.
Leading in an all-Ireland team.
Celtic's hero. What a reception.
Behind our team comes Ireland.
Pat Bonner, what do you think of the atmosphere at How's it today?
I think it's better than when we play here. It's a marvellous day for everybody, and it's lovely for all these people that's taking part. This is what sport's all about. This is really what it's all about.
Now, of course, you had a great time in the World Cup. What do you think of the sports people here?
Well, you know, when you consider the handicap some of these people have, but I'm sure some of them will be able to score penalties on me if they try, no problem.
They've also got Francis McCann, who takes part in athletics, the equestrian events, swimming and football. What a team from Ireland.
Yes, Frances is a real all-rounder. She's spent the last 6 years in Special Olympics programs since she's been 12. Now, her family can't travel here with her, but they're very supportive. Frances is a dedicated athlete, and she's come home from her past 3 national games with gold medals.
Here's Norway. 64 athletes from a pool of 2,000, and their leader, the great Grete Waitz, marathon runner extraordinaire, silver medalist in the 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles, and winner of the first World Championship. Here's Poland, and we talked about incredible Olympic athletes. Poland are led by the great Irina Shawinska, the queen of athletics for 4 Olympic Games. Turkey coming in now. Small team, 12 athletes, led by Professor Özkan, who is the founder and chairman of the Special Olympics program. They think their table tennis team are going to do well. They've held their own Special Olympics in '88, and they've taken part in 3 specials. And one of their competitors will be Nilgün Akan, competing in basketball and athletics.
Nilgün's been in Special Olympics programs for the past 4 years. When she was chosen to represent Turkey at the International Games in Indiana in 1987, her father dismissed the whole thing as nonsense and wouldn't give his consent for her to go, but he was finally persuaded. She remained skeptical, though, until she returned with a gold medal in the standing long jump and a 5th place in the 100 meters. Now her father is very proud of her accomplishment and fully supports Special Olympics. She's participated in 2 national games since, adding another gold and a silver medal to her collection. Here come the USSR.
Terrific reception they're getting too.
Led by Don Johnson and Melanie Griffiths. Getting a warm welcome. Of course, Don Johnson has a history of helping with Special Olympics in the United States.
Indeed he has.
And they broke their Mediterranean holiday to come here today.
Good to see that Estonia there, the Baltic nations, are coming in separately. Here's Estonia. But the organisation just getting here as a separate team is a remarkable first, and it's remarkably quickly done considering how recent political events have been taking place.
I think it's just a measure of where there's a will, there's a way.
Big Frank leads the English team with 343 athletes, and he'll get a terrific reception. Listen to this.
He's quite a character. I think he'll be taking his time as he goes along here.
Well, he let the officials go. They're about 20 yards ahead of him. Francis, good to see you here, big man. Yes, the royal nod.
Oh my God! You're right. Yeah, how are you?
How are you, Frank?
Yeah, not too bad. Very happy getting a good tan. Very nice day. Very good occasion. You know, very wicked occasion, may I say.
What do you think of all these young athletes?
They're unbelievable. Look at them. They're smiling. It's a nice day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, very good day. You can have fun?
Yes.
Yes, wicked. That's nice. You all right, yes? You look
Yes.
pretty trendy today.
Thank you very much,
That's
Frank.
nice.
Here's the Welsh. Cymru on bed. I think
Big
Stephen
contingent.
Hughes.
Stephen Hughes, an MEP, joining them.
Well, the crowd are rising. There's a tremendous buzz. Look at the huge England team filing in. The great Caterpillar. The Red of Wales will go next to them. But listen to this roar.
The team from Scotland.
Oh boy.
Marty Pello from Wet, 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 holding the right-hand corner of the flag there. Marty Pello and Wet, 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 of course, will be playing later on during the afternoon.
What a day at Celtic. They've had some magnificent sporting occasions here. They've had their share of success and they have been quite magnificent. But this is a very special day too.
And a special one for one of the Scottish team in particular, Lee Niemann. Lee loves swimming in particular, though he's competent at running, horse riding, and at weight training too. He was born in Hong Kong to a Chinese refugee family. His adopted mother, Lydia, worked in the Salvation Army home where he spent his early years. Then she moved to the Lake District and on to Edinburgh so that Lee could join the Redwood Foundation adult training program there. And all his friends at the foundation are rooting for him this week. Now, Bill Hughes is the chairman of these games in Scotland. He and his committee have been working towards this day for 2 years now.
Your Royal Highnesses, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to Celtic Park to celebrate the opening of the 1990 European Summer Special Olympic Games. These games are most importantly about the athletes, whom we have just seen in this spectacular parade. However, it is appropriate that I pay tribute to others who have made these games possible. Strathclyde Regional Council, whose vision, commitment and provision of much resource is worthy of highest mention. The response of the people of Strathclyde has been overwhelming. As with enthusiasm, they have embraced the Adopt an Athlete scheme and the Host a Family initiative. This afternoon, 32,000 people in this stadium have shown by their welcome that Strathclyde has taken Special Olympics to its heart.
Now the founder and honorary chairman of Special Olympics International, Eunice Kennedy Shriver.
Good afternoon. Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished guests, parents, Special Olympians, ladies and gentlemen. Prince Philip, we are honored to have you with us here today. Millions are grateful for your magnificent efforts to protect the environment and to preserve the lives and habitats of all living creatures. Today, when freedom is sweeping the nations of Europe, it is fitting that this historic event should happen in Scotland, long a champion of freedom. Special athletes, you are a living challenge to the tragic deception that human values lie in political power, intelligence, and wealth. It is not so, and in our age of self-indulgence, your courage and generous spirit move us to change. You are the pioneers. Athletes, today you stand on the world stage, from Iceland to Moscow, from the coast of Norway to the islands of Greece. You have come to these playing fields to prove to the world that you will be honored as equals. Equal in skill, equal in sharing, equal in courage. With those soaring qualities of heart and character, you who are the pioneers of the human spirit teach us and honor us far more than we can ever honor you. Congratulations and good luck, Special Olympians.
The Olympic oath will be delivered by Grete Waitz, Norway's famous long-distance runner.
Let me hear. Let me win. But if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt.
Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. So that is the oath of the athletes. Let them enjoy the experience too. That may be more important than bravery. But here's Don Johnson to talk on the meaning of that oath.
Hello, everybody. My name is Don Johnson. I'd like to talk to you about the oath that you just took. What does it say? What does it mean? What have you promised? I'll tell you what I think it means. It means tomorrow morning, when you go to the stadium to compete, you will run faster, jump higher, and throw longer than you ever have done before. And it doesn't matter if you cross the finish line first or last. If you've done your best, if you've given it your best shot, that's what being brave is all about. That's what it means to be a champion. Good luck to you all. Now I'd like to invite a special athlete, Miss Bernadette McKenzie, to collect the Olympic flag.
Bernadette McKenzie, she plays netball for Scotland, and she'll be absolutely thrilled to accept it. Oh, what a day for her. Bernadette will hand it on to Alan McPherson, who will hoist it. He's a cyclist for Scotland. It's a great day for Scotland, is this? The the Ode to Joy.
Yes, indeed, Ron. The Ode to Joy is the anthem of the European community. So we'll take a break from the ceremonials for a while for more entertainment. Music's a big part of Special Olympics. In fact, the continuation of Special Olympics is in part due to the sales of a record called A Very Special Christmas Album. It's raised $12 million in 3 years. Well, today, one of Glasgow's most famous singers has come home to honor Special Olympics. Here's Lulu. Lulu. Now Taylor Danes crossed the Atlantic for today's festivity. She's enjoying great success here. She's singing her latest single.
Saying goodbye is never an easy thing, but you never said, and you stay forever. So if you must go, darling, I'll set you free. But I know in time we'll be together. I won't try to stop you now from leaving, 'cause in my heart love will lead you back. Someday I just know that love will lead you back to my arms, where you belong. I'm sure, so that stars are shining, one day you will find me again.
Taylor Dane. Let's go back outside now onto the streets of Glasgow for an update on the torch run. And here's Tessa Sanderson.
Hello, everybody. Here we are in George Square, and the runners are still going strong. You've come from Athens. Well, tell us, what was the run like?
Fantastic, the whole way. And the best weather we've had has been in Scotland.
Oh, wonderful. What a reception you've had here, though.
Smashing reception. All the people have come out to see us in all the countries, and of course all the capital cities.
Everybody's gone Special Olympic mad here, though, haven't they?
Absolutely. Quite right, too.
Now over from Sweden, here's Roxette playing the song from the film Pretty Woman, Listen to Your Heart. Now, here to pay tribute to Special Olympics is one of Britain's fastest rising stars, Lisa Stansfield, singing appropriately all around the world.
I don't know where my baby is, but I'll find him somewhere, somehow. I've got to let him know how much I care. I'll never give up looking for my baby. Been around the world and I can't find my baby. I don't know when, I don't know why he's gone away, and I don't know where he can be. My baby, but I'm gonna find him. We had a quarrel said I let myself go. I did so many things he didn't know, and I was so bad. And I don't think he's coming back. Ooh, he gave the reasons he should go, and he said things he hadn't said before, and he was so mad. And I don't think he's coming back. I did too much lying, wasted too much time. Now I'm here and crying. I've been around the world and I can't find my baby. I don't know when, I don't know why he's gone away, and I don't know where he can be, my baby. But I'm gonna find him. Ooh, hey. So open-hearted, he never did me wrong. I was the one, the way was wonderful, and now I'm so sad. And I don't think he's coming back. I did too much lying, wasted too much time. Now I'm here and crying. I've been around the world, looking for my baby. Been around the world, and I'm gonna my baby, but I'm gonna find him. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks very much. Have a good time.
Now for one last check of the torch's progress. Yes, it's now really very close.
You've already done 6,000 kilometres. What sort of training have you guys have to put in for that?
We do about 50, 60 miles a week, and we've been doing that for the last number of years. Everybody involved in the running, we've all been active members of the athletic section in Strathclyde Police. It was a great honour for us to be asked by the region to take part in this fantastic torch run that we're about to complete near Button.
Now on home territory, they're from nearby Clydebank. Wet, wet, wet. Marty Pellow and the boys who led in the Scottish team.
What it is you're giving me, I've got it all brand new, yeah. And you put up a show of hands, but I got the feeling that they don't know what they're gonna do, and we don't live there no more. We got the freedom to set our soul. We don't live there no more. Stay with me, honey, so I can't keep it back. Another day with somebody, so I can't stand the chance. Yeah. Stay with me, honey, so I can't keep it back. Another day with somebody, no, I can't stand the chance. Love you, baby. We got the speed on the ten floor, and ooh, we don't live there no more.
How's all doing? A good day out, I hope. Nice to see there'll be a large majority of people in the audience can understand every word I'm saying. This is a song called Holding Back the River. This is what I gotta say. Only now I crave our dismay for me when I get laid. Yeah, baby, when I get laid, yeah, listen up. If you will move to the boogaloo. Sometimes people don't want to say, old time dancers don't die that way. See that grave I've just made, it's for me when I'm just laid. Somebody's gotta hold back the river, yeah, and somebody like you. Somebody like you. Both things singing together as one. Sometimes I don't feel I can remember. Now I think it's fair to mention about the days when I get laid. And somebody's gotta hold back the river. And somebody like you. Somebody's gotta hold back the river. And somebody like you. Thank you very much. God bless.
So this crowd on its toes, awaiting the arrival of the torch. The fittest police force in the world.
And the Strathclyde police officers have handed the torch over to the Greek athlete who first gave them it at Mount Olympus.
Marinos Karapipidis. What a terrific effort by the Strathclyde police force. And they've given the impression that this has been a great privilege. And certainly they have been quite superb. Now here goes, Marinos has handed that over to Anatoly Bushmilov, the Soviet athlete. The newest of the teams to be in this Special Olympic Games. And taking it now is James Sinnott, the Irish athlete. James Sinnott was the Irish that hosted the last Europeans, so the Irish have the privilege of carrying the torch now. Scotland have it at last in the safe hands of Robert Sinclair.
Robert Sinclair now approaching the steps.
Scotland as hosts have the privilege of lighting the flame which will burn throughout the period of the games. For 6,000 kilometres, the flame ignited from the sun's rays over Mount Olympus, where the spirit of the Olympic movement was founded 33 centuries ago. And look at this. The air is full of parachutes and fireworks and pyrotechnics.
Sharing a common interest is a wonderful way of making friends. Sport attracts competitors in every part of the world. Now, I'm quite sure that these Special Olympics will give great pleasure to all who take part and to all spectators. And now that the flame is lit and the informality of the opening ceremony has been completed, the games can now begin.
And so the third European Summer Special Olympics are officially open. As Eunice Shriver said, Special Olympics are about skill, courage, sharing and joy. We wish all the athletes the very best and leave you with Patty Austin as she sums up the spirit of the day with the song One Moment in Time.
Each day I live, I want to be a day to give the best of me. I'm only one, but not
In these games, the oath for more than 2,000 athletes is, let me win, but if I cannot win, then let me be brave in the attempt.
The Olympic flag is raised up high, a signal through the years to signify an event of sportsmanship and skill for people with determination and the will. And now, at Strathclyde, all there can justifiably take pride in maintaining and sustaining the Olympic spirit, proving disabilities for those who dare do not limit participation. And by their example, they share with every nation so that we all can face this challenge for the human race.
A scene of peace and tranquility on the banks of Loch Lomond, where great songs and verse have told of races won and lost, heroes in battle, and historical legends striving to soar to new heights of courage and achievement. It certainly shows a stark contrast to the modern relics of the industrial might of the River Clyde, in a region which has now positively identified the need for many changes and improvements and a much greater social awareness of issues which have sometimes been neglected. The change is slow, but it is happening, and the city which holds the title of European City of Culture 1990 is now combining the old and the new to produce an optimism and an energy which is being channeled into many new projects, and in particular the third European Summer Special Olympic Games. Celtic Park Football Stadium has seen many exciting and emotional moments over the years, but surely not many could equal the welcome 30,000 spectators gave to the competitors and the coaches at the opening ceremony. Many celebrities marched with the teams from 31 European countries, but the real stars were the athletes themselves, like gymnast Noreen Duffy, representing a combined Irish team. Some of the all-time greats of athletics were marching with their home countries, like Grete Waitz of Norway and Irina Shawinska of Poland. This was one of many Eastern European teams, including not only the USSR, led here by Don Johnson and Melanie Griffiths, but also the states of Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, showing that Glasnost had arrived in Scotland.
And finally, welcome into Celtic Park, the UK delegation representing teams from England, Scotland and Wales. There are 12,500 athletes in our special...
The English and Welsh teams were two of the biggest on display, and they cheered almost as loudly as the crowd themselves. But quite rightly, the biggest welcome of the day was reserved for the Scottish flag, carried here by athlete Peter Meakin and flanked by British Lion Scott Hastings, track star Liz McColgan, and the rock stars Wet Wet Wet.
Four gentlemen who need very little introduction. 4 words saying all.
The spirit of the Games was encapsulated in one very short sentence when the athletes took the Olympic oath. Let me win, but if I cannot, let me be brave in the attempt.
I'd like to talk to you about the oath that you just took. What does it say? What does it mean? What have you promised? I'll tell you what I think it means. It means tomorrow morning, when you go to the stadium to compete, you will run faster, jump higher, and throw longer than you ever have done before. And it doesn't matter if you cross the finish line first
or last, if you've done your best, if you've given it your best shot, that's what being brave is all about. That's what it means to be a champion.
The final act of the ceremony, the symbolic lighting of the Olympic flame, saw the torch carried here by Robert Sinclair, completing its journey from the Acropolis in Athens, through 13 countries, and in the custody of members of the Strathclyde Police Force, to its final resting place. All competitors in the Special Olympics have something in common. They all have a mental handicap to some degree. 24-year-old French cyclist Dominique Perrin started racing in Special Olympics 5 years ago. As an abandoned child, he has lived in institutes all his life, but his sport has helped him adjust to the demanding lifestyle, which includes training 50 kilometers a day and pursuing a full-time job. This is a common problem which many Olympians have to contend with. His coaches and teachers agree that it was Special Olympics that gave his life focus, and Dominique came to Strathclyde Park determined to go for gold. The 10-kilometer road race was his first chance, and having already raced in a classification event to ensure all the competitors were of equal ability, he lined up in the fastest final of the day. Dominique, in the light blue vest of France, got off to an unusually slow start, with the rest of the field moving away very swiftly in the early stages of the race. After 2 kilometers, Dominique made the first of a number of very decisive moves. First, he headed the pack, making them have to work that much harder, tactics being very, very important in cycle road racing. And he held on to his lead, but wanted some help with the pacemaking. But Antonio Guerra of San Marino was certainly not going to oblige at this stage in the race. After the halfway stage, Dominique and Guerra were over 30 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. This time, Guerra did move to the front, with Dominique telling him to move over so that he could move into a slipstream. But yet again, international hand signals not getting through. Well into the second half of the race, Dominique had had enough, and he started his drive to home with about 3 kilometers to go. By the time he reached the finishing straight, he was over 45 seconds in the lead.
Ali, Dominique, Ali, Dominique.
Come on now, ladies and gentlemen, you can do better than that. 1, 2, 3. Alley, 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 Dominique. Alley, 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 Dominique. Dominique Perrin, ladies and gentlemen.
Mission accomplished for Dominique and his first gold medal in Special Olympics, but not without some pain. Guerra suffered a setback late in the race when he fell off his bike, but he did remount to take the bronze medal.
Please, Dominique Perrin from France.
Dominique's touch of cramp didn't prevent him from mounting the winner's rostrum and then to climb back on his bike later in the week to win his second gold medal in the 25-kilometre road race. Strathclyde, Europe's largest local authority, has been planning the Special Olympics over 2 years and has found the ideal nerve centre for the Games in the Scottish Exhibition and Conference Centre in Glasgow. Some of the Games' 2,500 volunteers and officials have helped to organise 7 of the sports here amidst an atmosphere of excitement, encouragement and revelry. Gymnastics was one of the showpiece events, with 160 men and women taking part at beginner, intermediate and advanced level in all the main Olympic disciplines. One of the early highlights in the gymnastics hall was a coaching clinic given by the Soviet champion Vladimir Galimov. And when the competitions began, the judges again were making sure that all competitors were competing against athletes with equal ability. Noreen Duffy was one of the stars of the rhythmic gymnastics here, in the intermediate hoop section. Beautiful performance for Noreen from Ireland, which gave her 7.2 marks from the judges. There were only 2 gymnasts in this section, and it was up to another Irish competitor, 17-year-old Margaret O'Hare, to see if she could take the gold medal. Nice finish there for Margaret, which gave her 6.45 marks and the silver medal. Her second silver of the day, and it brought tears of joy from Mother Mary. The gold medal here presented by Galimov went to Noreen Duffy. Again, her second, and it brought some of the biggest smiles the hall had ever seen. "16-year-old Oliver Hanley from Castlereagh in Southern Ireland was competing in one of the toughest of all gymnastic sections, the intermediate compulsory floor exercises. Oliver, one of 4 gymnasts here from the St Michael's School. And that move getting great applause from the crowd to finish off his routine, the judges giving him 7.9 marks. Louis Diniz from Portugal showed very good flexibility in his routine, and he moved into the lead with 8.35 marks. Matthew Mims, only 12 years old, competing for England, produced a routine full of poise and balance. Yet again, the lead changed hands as Matthew was awarded 8.55 marks. And so it was left to this man, Patrick Coles, also of England, to produce the performance of a lifetime. Showing incredible strength and timing, it earned Patrick 8.85 marks, with even Oliver Hanby in 5th place, applauding the performance which gave Patrick the gold. And the ecstatic gymnasts, the biggest cheer of the day. Getting the Special Olympics to come to Strathclyde has been no easy task, but it's one which has been worth waiting for and is a continued challenge for the Games Director, Gordon McCormack.
Strathclyde, the regional council in particular, call themselves the Caring Council. The people of Strathclyde, west of Scotland, are also caring people. We have an infrastructure here that has been building for 10 years now, and it just seems to have happened that we have had the full, total support of everybody. We're looking for a legacy here within this community, not just for Strathclyde in Scotland, but for the rest of Europe, where we prove to the world that these people with a learning difficulty, have the right to stand amongst you and I.
For Nilgün Akan, a 19-year-old Turkish athlete, sport has become a very important part of her life, although Nilgün's training program was once dismissed as being a waste of time by her father.
It has done quite a lot for Nilgün, the Special Olympics program, her involvement in this program. Nilgün has become a much happier person. She has gained confidence in herself, and she has learned self-discipline, actually, because it's very difficult for a person like Nilgün, a mentally handicapped person, to learn self-discipline, and that is one of the most important things in being a good athlete.
Hazır, hop! Evet, koşuyoruz, koşuyoruz, daha hızlı, daha hızlı, daha hızlı, daha hızlı, evet. Okay.
I mean, her parents now feel differently towards Nilgün. They really feel proud of Nilgün and proud of her accomplishments. When Nilgün wins a medal in an event, it's a great pride for the family too.
Along with over 650 other athletes at the Crown Point Athletics Stadium, Nilgün's schedule started with the 100 metres. After a bit of a jittery start, which the starter let go, Nilgün somehow ended up in lane 6 and was running with the girl next to her. Halfway through the race, and lane 2 was showing well, but Ribeiro of Portugal was finishing very fast indeed. And she was going to win the race, Ribeiro first, with Nilgün back in 4th place. But still, kisses from the coach. Nilgün's next event was the standing long jump, and it's one of her favourites. Her second jump of 1 metre 51 centimetres was good enough to take the bronze medal. Morochikova of Czechoslovakia gave her gold medal the thumbs up. A Europe without frontiers was certainly the message. And for Bethan Griffiths of Wales,